All right, good morning. Welcome to this month's webinar of the FICO Score Open Access Program for Credit and Financial Counseling. My name is Gigi Liggins, and I am a consultant on the Open Access team here at FICO and lead the Open Access Program for Credit and Financial Counseling. In today's webinar, we're going to speak briefly about FICO the company, share information about the Open Access Program, some of the really great program materials and benefits that the program provides agencies, and then also how to get started. We anticipate that this webinar will run about 15 to 20 minutes, leaving some time at the end for questions and answers. If you do have a question, please use the question feature within your WebEx or the chat feature. We will be monitoring that throughout the duration of the presentation, and we'll try to either address your question at the time received, or we'll definitely address it at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. So FICO is a pioneer in the credit risk scoring space. We have been doing credit scoring for the last 30 years and have now determined that FICO scores are used in 90% of lending decisions by 90% of the top U.S. lenders. With this information and our passion for consumer financial literacy, we launched the Open Access Program about 6 years ago, and to date have now confirmed that over 300 million consumer accounts now have free access to their FICO scores. Along with the standard Open Access Program that we provide for our traditional lending partners, we also have expanded this program to credit and financial counseling agencies and organizations so that they too may have the proper license to share the FICO scores that they're grabbing for educational purposes with their clients. So the way that the Open Access for Credit and Financial Counseling Program works is that we are providing a license, again, to enable organizations that meet our eligibility criteria with the ability to share the FICO score that they receive from their bureau partner or reseller with their client. The Open Access Program does require that a few components are met within this process. Most importantly, the actual FICO score, the top 2 score factors or reason codes, and some additional client education content. We want to make sure that consumers have access to accurate information about FICO scores. So in addition to providing the score and detailed explanations about the reason codes, we also want to make sure that they have access to the educational content. So when you are an approved partner with the FICO Score Open Access Program for Credit and Financial Counseling, we ensure that the counselors receive all of the necessary reference materials. We provide guides and information to help the agency and the counselors quickly get started in the program and access the program resources. We provide a Q&A document. And the most important component of this program and what we're asking our partners to integrate is the FICO Score Summary Report Generator. So these are kind of the core program materials that our partners are provided and asked to integrate. Here is an example of the FICO Score Summary Report Generator. As you can see on the left-hand side, there is a counselor input page. When you receive or the counselor receives the information from their bureau partner and they're provided a FICO score, they will take that information and put it into the input page. They'll make sure to share which bureau partner the score is from, their client's name, the 3-digit FICO score that the client received, the date of that score pull, which is really important, the first reason code, the second reason code, and also the score version. Lastly, you'll make sure to integrate into this input page your agency name and your counselor's name. Once this information is complete, you'll pop over to the output page and you'll be able to see this really great resource that you can now share with your clients. It will provide the client's name, the scoring information that you put in. It'll provide a rating. It gives this FICO score lockup, which is really important. We want to make sure that consumers know they are receiving a FICO score and not simply a credit score. There's a lot of consumer confusion about score types and versions, but we want to make sure our consumers are getting access to their FICO scores because it's the FICO score that is used in 90% of lending decisions by 90% of lenders. So it's really important that they know that this is a FICO score and can be confident if they choose to go to a lender and apply for credit. The reason codes, which you customarily just receive maybe the code and the description statement, you'll now get a detailed summary of what that means. So in this case, it talks about the number of accounts with delinquency, and it explains exactly what that means, in addition to what is called keep in mind text. I like to think of the keep in mind text as providing just some additional context about how to really understand what this score factor means. You'll also see the second score factor. If you're wondering why only 2, I've seen more than 2 score factors when I receive back a credit file, that is because it is the top 2 score factors that are having the biggest impact on that FICO score at that time. So the generator tool only supports the first 2, and those are the only 2 that we ask are shared with the client in this detailed format. Additionally, on the bottom portion of the page, you'll see additional information about a FICO score and where that consumer can grab that additional education I referenced in the prior slide. If you happen to support a Spanish-speaking population, we are excited to share that this report is also available in Spanish. So the input portion always remains in English for the counselors to use, but the output can be published in either English or Spanish so that a Spanish speaker or a native Spanish speaker can have this information in Spanish. Additional materials are some comprehensive reference materials, including a document called Basic Facts About FICO Scores. This is a really great resource that as a partner you can share with your clients. This is also provided in both Spanish and English. We also have an educational content video series. We have 6 different videos. They're no more than a couple of minutes long, and you can embed these on your organization's webpage. You can share them via email or provide links to your clients on where they can go and view them. They're hosted on Vimeo. So some really cool resources. These resources are also translated via the closed captioning. So if you have someone who needs this resource in Spanish, they can select that and it'll be presented in Spanish. There are also 2 really amazing educational documents. I'd like to highlight the frequently asked questions about FICO scores document. This document provides a wealth of information and really a lot of those questions that you are likely to receive as a credit counselor about a FICO score. These are really great desk references and can be shared with your clients. You can hand this to them. Finally, you can access ficoscore.com/education for even more information about the scores and ficoscore.com info. I'd also like to highlight in the Understanding FICO Scores document, you're able to access all of the various FICO score versions. That's also really important and likely comes up frequently in your conversations with your clients. So this allows you to kind of understand and know all the various versions, especially the ones that are more frequently used nowadays, and be able to explain those score versions to your client. Lastly, we also do have an e-learning course. This course would be for your counselors within your agency. We can share this course. It is an e-learning course, so you are required to have a learning management system that can support the learning modules. So this is something that all of this is offered to help you as an agency have all the resources you need and feel confident in how you're continuing to support your clients in achieving their financial goals and understanding FICO scores. So we've been doing this for a few years, and in this we do ask that our clients provide some kind of feedback on how the program is operating and how their clients are enjoying it. And what we're learning is that some of the benefits of being able to now share the FICO score with your clients is that it's really helping to prepare your clients to understand how their lenders view them from a credit risk standpoint. We've heard over and over again that clients access credit scores in various platforms online, and they go to their lender anticipating that their score is one number and then it's not. But being able to share the FICO score, again, a score that we're confident is being used in over 90% of lending decisions, and that's the score that they can feel confident that when they go to their lender is going to be the score that's most likely going to be pulled at that time, provided the date and the score version. So some feedback we've heard is that they're really happy that they can assure clients that this is the score that their lenders are using. Additionally, when a consumer has access to their score and sees their score, there's data to show that it also helps improve the financial health of your clients. It's an accountability tool. So we've seen or heard from some of our current partners that they've seen some of their consumers be able to get better loan rates because their scores improved. It's helping with overall financial health metrics and having a real positive impact to their lives and saving significant amounts of money. If you receive grants or you're always looking for ways and metrics to measure the effectiveness of your program, the FICO score is a really great quantitative tool to do so. So, you know, if your process has kind of a systematic check-in on what the FICO score is, that score can be a really great barometer for measuring the effectiveness. Some of our clients are showing that they're seeing scores increase about 6 months after their first appointment in about 70%. We're also seeing that the second poll it gives someone something to look forward to and to show that the information and the resources and the tools you're providing are working. It's also a really great retention tool. We've heard from some of our agency partners that you get clients and the goal is to get everyone through to the end to achieving that goal, but there's not all that do. Now having and embedding this FICO score helps to increase customer retention and really kind of keep someone engaged with kind of a tangible item that they can track and feel really good about when it increases. So if all of this information sounds like a really great opportunity to you, we would be excited if you would partner with us here at FICO on the Open Access Program for Credit and Financial Counseling. To do so, there are a few eligibility requirements, including having some kind of a purpose. A primary purpose is asked, but if it's, you know, you provide multi-level services and one of your services is financial counseling, then you qualify and you met that eligibility criteria. Additionally, you do need to have an active end-user agreement with one of the 3 credit bureaus or a reseller in the case of Equifax and TransUnion. We do require that you are a nonprofit organization with a 501c3 nonprofit status, and you are not considered a credit repair organization as defined by the Credit Repair Organizations Act. So if you meet these 4 criteria, you have a purpose of providing financial counseling, you have an end-user agreement with a bureau or a reseller to capture the credit report and the FICO score, you are a nonprofit organization, and you are not considered a credit repair organization, then it is very likely that you are eligible and can very quickly get set up on the platform and have access to the resources, including the generator tool. If you are ready to get started, the steps are fairly easy. You will complete our application and questionnaire and also complete our program license agreement. The program license agreement is what gives you the ability to share the FICO score that you're already receiving for educational purposes with your client. This agreement shares how we want that score delivered, which is using the generator tool. This agreement does not alter your existing agreements with your bureau partners. It does not give you the right to provide a copy of the credit report to your client. That is something that you would negotiate directly with your bureau partner. And it does not alter or change anything in how you're currently purchasing your credit reports and or FICO scores. It is a supplemental license that now just gives you ability to share that FICO score, which is not customarily provided in your agreement. So it's really important to keep in mind that nothing that you're currently doing, provided you've met the 4 eligibility criteria, will change. This is just an additional agreement that gives you more features and benefits to share the FICO score and have more content to provide to your counselors and your clients. So once you've completed our program application and questionnaire, along with the program license agreement, and we complete our processing, we will then invite you to what's called the group, the private group on our FICO Analytic Cloud, where you can access all of the program resources. You'll be able to access what the FICO Summary Report Generator, which was previewed a few slides ago. You'll be able to access all of the educational content resources, and then essentially get started. So when you are launched in a partner, we do ask that on a quarterly basis, you provide information on how many FICO scores were shared and any client feedback or counselor feedback that you think would really help us to continue to make the program valuable for you. So this is very simple. It's done via email. It is not a complicated reporting process. It is simply we shared X number of FICO scores and our clients love it, or we'd like to see this. And that's done on a quarterly basis following a traditional calendar quarter. So you'll report for months January through March, April through June, so on and so forth. So again, the program is free. I don't know that I mentioned this, but I'll mention it again. If you're wondering what are the fees, we're a nonprofit organization. It's really important for us to manage our budget. This program is free. It does not change any of the current agreements you already have, but this additional agreement does not cost you anything further. So getting started requires that you make sure you meet those 4 eligibility criteria. You sign the program license agreement and the application and return it to FICO. Once the application is processed, we'll provide you instructions to access the content. Then it's really important that you inform your staff and your counselors that you are live on the platform and how to access it. If you think that they would be valuable for some additional training for your team, let us know and we will help set that up or provide some resources to help them get on the platform as well. Once you as an organization are signed up, as many counselors as necessary can access the portal. And then of course, start using that generator tool to share information about FICO scores. You'll find that having that detailed summary of what their score factor means and the keep in mind context is really valuable and really eliminates the guessing game of some of these more vague descriptions of the score factor. So we're really excited about the generator tool and want to make sure that you're getting that document in the hands of your client. So if you partner with us, we want to make sure you know you are in some really great company. We have over 100 organizations signed with us and about 90 who are just using the generator tool. So at this time, we'll open it up for questions. Please remember to use the Q&A feature on the WebEx dashboard and or the chat feature so that we can manage your questions and or comments. All right, we've got one question. Can a community development financial institution, a bank or a credit union that's a CDFI participate? And the answer to that question is yes. If you found, hey, we're not maybe a 501c3 or we are, but we're not kind of a charitable organization, can you as a bank or a credit union, a community development bank participate? And the answer is yes. The only difference is you would participate through our standard open access program for lenders as opposed to the CNFC program for credit and financial counseling organizations. All right, we've got another question. How do we get access to FICO scores through this program? Great question. A lot of times folks think that because FICO is providing this license that now we're going to provide you with the FICO scores for your clients. That is not true. FICO does not touch consumer data. You will continue to get your FICO scores from your bureau partners or your reseller. All you will do is take that information and integrate it into the FICO score generator report tool. FICO does not provide scores for your clients and we do not touch consumer data, but we are here to help you translate those key score factors into the information that you need to help inform and empower your client. Okay, we've got another question. Is there training offered to get the program off the ground? The answer to that is yes. Within the program materials kit, our CNFC partners are provided instructions to share with our counselors to get them access to the FICO Analytic Cloud and provide training to how to use the generator tool. But if you think that a webinar or some additional training would be really valuable and help to get your counselors using the resource faster, we are happy to support you with that as well. So yes, there is more training. Just let us know what you need, and we're here to support you. We want to see the tool used, and we want to see you be successful in this program. All right. So we have time for about one or two more questions, but I will just reiterate, this license agreement is free. It is no additional cost to you as a CNFC, but it does not replace the current agreements you have with your bureau partners or your resellers, and they do need to remain in place for you to be eligible for the program. All right, we'll give it about a minute or so and see if we get any other questions or comments in the queue.